What is it about Karpenter that makes it popular for people?
Yeah, I think, well, a couple of things. Really similar to how we kind of came up with the idea for Crow. A couple of, our very smart engineers several years ago were looking at autoscaling, and we thought, what if we have a different approach, right? Not necessarily replacing the autoscaling patterns that we have now, but what if we look at a broader picture and start provisioning nodes on demand based on scheduling pressure, right? If you throw a pod at the cluster and it can't be scheduled because there's no node, let's go provision one. And so that was sort of the impetus of Karpenter. It started as a couple of different POCs, but that's where really it ended up being that's the solution, that's
right.
the answer. And so as it started expanding and gaining traction, we realized pretty early we'd need a provider model. If we wanted this to be a Kubernetes feature, it can't just speak to EC2 APIs. So the provider model came along. But I think those are the two pieces, right? One is kind of the way that we solve the problem of saying, like, we're going to autoscale through kind of just-in-time node provisioning and also deprovisioning, right? If the workload slows down, we can deprovision your nodes and save you some money. We also realized very early that we could build logic into the controller and the solution overall that would help you choose the right node, not only based on sort of performance requirements, but also price characteristics, right? So then you start having this sort of, this can actually save me money. It can save me operational burden, and it can actually make it cheaper to run my Kubernetes cluster. So that was a big part of it. And then finally, I think just through the API design, it's quite elegant, it's very simple, but it allows you to get very complex. So node management, it's, do you want just a node? Fine, have it. Often you have to get a little deeper. Okay, I need these types of CPUs. I need this much memory. Even deeper, I need these types of hardware characteristics, right? So the API lets you just be as simple as you want. Hey, just give me a node, whatever it'll do. And it can get all the way into really fine-grained detail of that node configuration. So having all of those things kind of presented through this nice API, solving this problem in a really novel way, I think is what helped really kick things off. And very quickly after that, we were talking to SIG Autoscaling and saying, hey, cluster autoscaling and SIG, how can we help you? Like, is this an interesting idea? And one thing led to another, and that's sort of where the project ended.